My name is Adina Marabi. I am Director of Partner Relations at Okendo, and I will be moderating today's panel. To my right, I have Alea Holmes, Head of Customer and Content Marketing at Recharge, and Lisa Mastela, CEO and founder of Bumpin Blends, a frozen cube fruit smoothie company that sells in over 3,200 stores. Amazing. That's a huge accomplishment. And also a Recharge user on her D2C site. So excited to be here today. Cool. And we are going to kick it off with Alea. What does building a brand of tomorrow mean?
Building a brand of tomorrow really means placing equal emphasis on one, driving growth, and two, driving customer retention by integrating your product into your customers' daily lives. And when you are trying to cement your brand as a brand of tomorrow, or you are trying to seamlessly integrate your product into your customers' daily lives, there's a lot of competing priorities. I mean, you have to have an exceptional customer experience. You have to perfect your product. I mean, that's a must. And you really have to have a brand promise that resonates with your customers. And I think the brands that do it best, and I think Bumpin Blends is a great example of this, the brands that do it best really aggregate all of this and are able to put it towards a holistic business strategy.
Great answer. Lisa, this question is for you. Bumpin Blend sells in Target and Walmart, everywhere for everyone. How are you balancing retail distribution and your D2C business?
Also a really good question, but also thank you to Adina for jumping in and moderating this with about 10 minutes notice. She's incredible. Yes, we're really grateful. But yes, being omnichannel is, I mean, even Peloton just announced that they're omnichannel. So it's definitely the way of the future. So if you're thinking about being a brand of tomorrow, being everywhere, being in stores and online is really, really crucial. But it's important to balance the two because just throwing your D2C product into stores or throwing your in-store product D2C just doesn't really work to create that sort of lasting customer and that relationship that's going to be really special and lead to a lot of growth for your brand. So in order to sort of drive people into a subscription in D2C rather than in store, it really is creating sort of two different products, two different companies, and two different experiences, because you're going to have customers who find you in store and they love the product, but maybe they want more. And you as a brand want to have more to offer them. You want to have an experience to go along with the product. And that's really, really essential to do to be successful in sort of this world of growing emerging brands of tomorrow.
Absolutely. Experience is everything these days. Second to last question. It's one thing to create a subscription program. It's another to keep those subscribers. This question is for both of you. We'll start with you, Alea. How do you create stickiness and reduce churn?
Sure. So I would say one of the ways is to deepen your relationships with your customers. And how you're going to do that is you are going to view every touch point you have with your customers, whether it is a delivery or an order notification or a promotional email. You are going to view every touch point as an opportunity to build familiarity. And how you're going to build this familiarity is through consistency. And what happens from a psychological perspective is if you can build this familiarity, it's going to build brand trust. And your customers are going to have a lot harder of a time leaving your brand if they trust your brand. Another thing I think you can do is personalize your customer experience. So if you have a subscription program, you have this data to personalize the experience, personalize recommendations for your customers, to really stay ahead of their needs, because your customers want to feel seen and heard by their favorite brand. And if you can do this, it is going to uptick your customer satisfaction and uptick your LTV and drive retention. And the last thing that I'll say on this is you need to focus on the value of benefit for subscribing to your brand. I think, we all know that subscriptions are mutually beneficial for the brand and the customer, but make your customer feel like they're getting something out of it, right? So is it a discount? Is it part of a loyalty program? Are they getting access to products that haven't been launched yet? What are those benefits that they would otherwise be missing if they weren't subscribing to your brand? Make sure you are marketing that to your customer and make them feel like they're missing out if they're not a subscriber.
I think those are so true, and we really weave. It's interesting. So in terms of like consistency, that is so important. But there's almost an element of inconsistency and variability that I think subscribers also crave, and I think balancing those two is super important. So a lot of the ways that we create that stickiness with customers are the same ways that we differentiate our subscription from our in-store experience. So every touch point, like you said, of the customer should be giving them that value add for the subscription, but also just making them like, so for instance, if you put yourself in the shoes of your subscriber and you have to think to yourself, why would someone subscribe to this product? So we're frozen smoothie cubes. For us to ship a box of smoothie cubes to your door, we're paying for dry ice and a cooler. You, as the customer, are paying for that markup. You can go to Walmart and buy a bag of cubes and be out the door and on your way home, and that's great. And for a lot of our customers, that's what they want, and that's why we're in stores. But if you go home and you try that bag of cubes and you love the product and you go to our website or our Instagram and you want more from us, there is a subset of customers that can be quite large that is willing to pay that premium for what you offer outside of the store. And for us, that sort of very convenient experience for those customers is consistent, and it's nice for them because they get their delivery once a month or once every other week, and they get their smoothies that they love. But working in variability for them also helps to prevent boredom as a subscriber. So if you think of times you've subscribed to a product, maybe after 3-4 months you're kind of bored. Maybe you're over that, particular toothpaste or that meal delivery, and you can't possibly have that smoothie one more time. So what we offer for our subscribers is a variability of 30 different flavors and the ability to mix and match flavors in their bundles so they can always be changing up what they're getting each month so it's not so consistent. And then in addition to that variability of flavors, we have the availability of limited time flavors and celebrity partnership flavors and seasonal flavors, the pumpkin spice, the peppermint bark, those sorts of things that give subscribers that feeling of, oh, there's something new, there's something different. I'm not going to cancel this month because peppermint bark is coming out next month, which peppermint bark is coming out next month. So, but that sort of variability keeps customers engaged and excited about the brand, but it also allows you to give subscribers a leg up and say, hey, this flavor is available for subscribers only. And that's an element. It's a long-winded answer, but there's so many opportunities. Like we use that sort of concierge experience for subscribers by including every subscription comes with your own 24/7 nutritionist via text message. And you can ask this real dietitian any question you want any time of day, and you'll get a response. And that sounds so luxurious and concierge level and expensive and fancy and so much value add. But as a brand, it's, a text message app in our tech stack. It's not anything that revolutionary or groundbreaking, but to our subscribers, it's a huge value add to them. And it's something that they find worth subscribing for. And I think thinking about your product and your experience, you have to think, what would make someone subscribe instead of buying it in store? Or if someone is a fan in store, what will take them to that next level to pay more for something more from you? And being able to answer that question specifically about your product, whether that is a 24/7 text hotline, whether it is variability in their offers, whether it's a great loyalty program or gifts or upselling, thinking about what would really take that excited customer to the next level is the best way to create that stickiness.
I love that, Lisa. And it's so true. Being able to provide a unique and different experience to your subscribers that they couldn't necessarily get in store, whether that's surprise and delight. Maybe it's your new, peppermint bark flavor. Maybe it's the pumpkin spice. It's also an opportunity for you to increase your average order value by maybe having those subscribers add more things to their cart in their next order. And I also love the idea of familiarity because you want to make your subscription order part of your routine, part of your everyday. So great answers. All right, last question. What are the key components of a great subscription experience that everyone here should incorporate?
You want to go first?
Yeah.
Take it away.
Well, I just listed a bunch, but I do think that for us, the key components of a really great subscription are that value add, that variability, the ease and convenience of the consistency piece, making it not difficult. But I think what really sets brands apart, because you can do all of that, and you can do that with everybody, Recharge has the best tools to do that. So, you can have cancellation flows in place, you can have the loyalty program in place, you can have I love that 3-day reminder that we have in place for our customers to give them a heads up before it renews. But I think we can all agree as a consumer to eliminate the worst part of a subscription is to eliminate that feeling, that icky feeling that the brand doesn't want you to subscribe, which obviously the brand doesn't want you to subscribe, but we don't want them to know that. So I think the best thing you can do as a brand to create this beautiful subscription experience is to have all those necessary flows in place, have that communication with the customer open, but have it be extremely authentic and comforting and empathetic to your customer. So if you have a cancellation flow in place, think about what that customer wants and needs to hear rather than what is this sort of generic cancellation flow that all these brands are going to do. You want to think about it of what is going to get this customer to stay without making them feel like you're forcing them to stay. And I think that can go a really long way with your customers. But it's just using the right language with those tools is so crucial. But definitely having all of those tools in place to create a subscription experience with several different touch points at different pieces in terms of maybe they've been subscribed for 3 or 4 months. It's time to give them a little something, a little gift or a little heads up or a little email to show that you appreciate them being a subscriber. If they're starting to get unengaged and not change their flavors as frequently, it's time to sort of give them a little oomph. Throw in a free smoothie or throw in a little sticker or something, or a note from the founder can go a long way. So I think staying on top of that communication and the timeline with your customer while also being really sensitive to the language you're using and the ease of the customer experience to cancel, to change things, to skip a bundle if they're burnt out, things like that can go a really long way.
I'm glad you went first because these were super tangible examples, and my examples are a little bit more of a cop-out. But I think something that everybody needs to incorporate in their subscription experience is customer feedback. Your customers, and especially your most loyal customers, are really going to be your North Star. So you need to get them on the phone, send them surveys. You are absolutely going to have to incentivize them to do both. Dig through your data, dig through your reviews, and they're going to tell you which aspects of your subscription and honestly holistic customer experience need improving. But that said, I think even the best of them, when you're taking this approach and you're incorporating customer feedback, it's still going to be a relatively small cohort, right? So how do you figure out what is moving the needle for the masses? And this is where I think that you should always be in test mode, right? I think perfection is a moving target, and one of the ways that's great to do that is A/B testing. So figure out which subscription interval works for your product, right? figure out which discount you should be giving your subscribers to incentivize them to stick with your brand, but also not cheapen your product. Figure out in your marketing effort, should you be driving them to a specific PDP or a general landing page? I think always being in test mode and seeing what moves the needle for your business is so important.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I have a really tangible experience of a great way that works.
Great.
We had a limited time flavor, one of those limited time flavors for subscribers a couple years ago, and it sold out so fast, and a lot of our subscribers were just like begging for it more and more. And we brought it back, and then it kind of died down. People stopped talking about it. I surveyed our top 300 customers. Anyone who spent over like $5,000 with us got a survey from us. And in the notes, literally unanimously, the responses, every single person said, I want that flavor back. When is that flavor coming back? And yesterday we put out a teaser that we're going to bring the flavor back for Black Friday only. And so we put out a little teaser on Instagram that flavor is coming back, and we saw an actual uptick in old subscribers resubscribing literally yesterday after that post went up. So if you're actually asking your customers what they want, that's so powerful. As long as you actually then do what they want, it can be such a powerful tool. To see like an actual uptick in old subscribers coming back is like from one silly post that like it really does work. Surveying your customers is big.
That's genius. That's so smart. And also, what better way to communicate directly with your customers, the end users, than to ask them directly for their feedback? Okay, I lied. We have one more question. Last one. Before we let you go today, what's one piece of advice that you'd like to leave the audience with as it pertains to this session today? And Alea, we can start with you.
Sure, absolutely. I would say that the brands that last and build their brand for tomorrow are the brands that focus on their best fit customer, and they're not trying to boil the ocean. And this is because from a high level, obviously, these are the customers that are going to give you the best feedback, right? They are going to help you perfect your product, bring back a limited time item, but also not only evolve with, but advocate for your brand. And we know how huge that portion is, advocation. And I think from a monetary perspective, look, if you can hone in on this segment of customers who is obsessed with your brand and obsessed with your product, you are not only going to streamline your resources, but you are going to optimize spend across marketing, product development, customer experience, literally every part of your business. And you are going to start seeing some real long-term gains. But on the flip side of that, if you're trying to appeal to everyone, you can absolutely see short-term gains, right? But this isn't strategic in the long haul. And that's because, kind of going back to, you need to personalize your experience for your best fit customers. You need to make them feel seen and heard. You need that consistency. And honing in on your best fit customers really enables you to do that. And I mean, forget how ineffective and costly that is on top of it all.
That's such great advice. Yeah, finding the right customers and then making sure that you're listening to them is so important. I feel like I've already said this, but I think just really stepping into the shoes of your target customer is so, so, so important. So when you're creating an element of the subscription experience, ensuring that you are, well, one, always testing, just always iterating on different ideas. There should never be and I don't always walk the talk, but I'm always trying to walk the talk of like, you should always, always be trying to optimize your subscription experience. Always be trying to subscribe to your product as a customer, or have your friends and family do it as a real customer and give you real honest feedback. And then always be iterating on new ideas, trying new different A/B testing of cancellation flows, trying new 3 to 4 month boredom options, trying new gifts, etc. Like there should always be testing, always be trying something new at least once a month or a couple times a quarter. And then just really putting yourself in the shoes of your subscriber of like, are we as a brand supporting the subscriber? Are we making them feel appreciated? Are we making them feel like this product is a great fit for them and we care about them? Or are we just trying to shove our subscription down their throat, even if they don't want it, and giving them that experience? So putting yourself in the shoes of the subscriber, testing as a real life subscriber, having friends and family test as a real subscriber, and then really applying that feedback and constantly iterating on it.
Well, thank you both so much. Round of applause for Alea and Lisa.
And thank you.
Thank you so much, Adina, for jumping in.